9:37 local time. Bandar Abbas. The Iranian frigate Sahand is tied up at the pier, crew probably finishing their morning tea, thinking they're about to go out and shut down the Strait of Hormuz. They've got no idea that a few hundred miles away, the US Navy just decided every ship in this harbor is about to become a permanent part of the seafloor. It starts with the low hum of Tomahawks. Dozens of them. They're skimming 30 feet above the waves, weaving through waypoints plotted the night before to avoid the morning tanker traffic. 12 miles out, the missiles cross the coastline. This is where the Turcom kicks in. The radar altimeter starts reading the hills and valleys like a guy feeling his way through a dark room he's known since childhood. It checks the terrain against a digital map, snaps the navigation into place, and the math gets very simple for the Iranians. On the Sahand, the consoles are just coming to life. They've got maybe 4 minutes to get their weapons ready, 3 if they skip the safety checks. They won't make it. In the Combat Information Center of a Spruance-class destroyer, the TAO is watching an MQ-9 Reaper feed. It's quiet. Just the sound of air conditioning and the countdown. Impact. The screen goes white. When the image comes back, the Sahand is disappearing under a wall of black smoke. Secondary explosions are ripping through the hull faster than the wind can move the soot. But the clock is still running. The second Tomahawk is looking for the Savalon. It's using DSMAC, basically facial recognition, but for concrete and steel. It's looking for a specific pier, a specific ship geometry. But there's a problem. The smoke from the Sahand is drifting east, swallowing the Savalon's berth. If the seeker can't see its face, it might miss. And if it misses, the Savalon gets to wake up, load its launchers, and start swinging back. The Reaper feed shows the smoke thinning. 30 seconds. 45. You're holding your breath because you know what's on the line. At 93 seconds, the Savalon's bow ghosts through the haze. The Tomahawk finds it. Back in 1988, this same ship took a 500-pound bomb down its stack. We let them tow it home as a favor. 38 years of borrowed time just got collected in full. The bridge is gone. 3 miles north, things get uglier. The Shahid Bagheri, a 755-foot converted tanker acting as a drone carrier, is already puking out Shahid 130's excess. These things are essentially flying lawnmowers packed with explosives. They're small, they're slow, and on a radar scope, they look like a trash can lid. 2F divided by a -18E Super Hornets from the top hatters are already moving in. They're carrying the AGM-158C LRASM. This isn't your grandfather's harpoon. You don't tell LRASM where to go. You give it a search area and tell it to go find lunch. The lead pilot pickles the missile at 40,000 feet. From that second, the weapon belongs to itself. It's a 2,500-pound hunting dog that doesn't use GPS and doesn't talk to anyone. It just listens. It picks up the radio chatter and radar pulses from the Bagheri and home in on the noise. The pilot doesn't wait to see it hit. He's got 3 Shahids popping up on his thermal camera. He's got 45 seconds to kill them before they reach the destroyer screen. A Sidewinder screams off the rail. The Seeker is struggling because a Shahid's tiny engine puts out about as much heat as a backyard grill. It's a nervous 3 seconds. Then, a fireball. The wingman finishes the other 2 with 20mm cannon fire. Meanwhile, the LRASM is closing the final mile on the Bagheri. The ship is trying to crawl south, still launching drones. It doesn't matter. The LRASM punches through the forward deck and detonates right in the drone storage bay. 30 seconds later, a second missile hits the waterline. A single-hull tanker versus a 1,000-pound warhead isn't a fight. It's an execution. The Bagheri folds like a wet paper bag. But we're not done. 200 miles east at Konarak, Iran's flagship, the Jamaran, is trying to get into the fight. This is their A student. The ship they show off on TV. It's got newer missiles and the FAR-27 SAM system. On paper, it's a threat. In reality, it's about to take a very hard exam. A Hornet pilot is pushing toward the harbor, and his radar warning receiver is screaming. The Zu-23 anti-aircraft guns are awake. It's old-school Soviet tech, twin barrels spitting 1,000 rounds a minute. It's a fire hose of steel. The pilot is carrying a slamyar. This is a man-in-the-loop weapon. In the final 5 miles, the missile's nose camera streams live video back to the cockpit. The pilot has to steer it with a thumbstick. It's surgery from 35 miles away, but he's gotta stay in the splash zone of those AA guns to keep the data link alive. He doesn't flinch. The video feed on his display is grainy infrared. He sees the Jamaran. He sees 3 crewmen running toward the launchers. If they get those missiles off, he's in trouble. He slows the crosshairs to the engine room, the thinnest part of the skin, and holds it. Impact. The Jamaran's back breaks at the keel. She's settling into the mud of her own harbor before the crew can even find their life jackets. Back at Bandar Abbas, the Makran, another massive drone warehouse, is burning but won't sink. And the burning tanker that stays afloat is just a giant tiki torch that can drift into shipping lanes and ruin everyone's day. A flight of Black Aces is orbiting at 22,000 feet, but they've got a problem. A Russian-made Tor M1 SAM system is playing hide-and-seek between 2 warehouses. It's a missile launcher on tank tracks. The wingman rolls in with a 2,000-pound JDAM. It's a race. The Tor crew wins. They launch a missile that pulls 30 GS, enough to turn a human being into jelly, straight at the Hornet. The pilot punches flares and pulls a 7G brake. His vision starts to tunnel. The world turns gray. The SAM screams past his canopy close enough to rattle his teeth. 4 seconds later, his JDAM erases the Tor battery from the map. Now the lead pilot has to finish the Makran and the 3 corvettes hiding in the smoke. The petroleum fire is so thick the targeting pods are blind. He's got to go down into it. He pushes the nose over. 5,000 feet. 4,000, he can taste the burning crude through his oxygen mask. At 3,200 feet, the wind rips a hole in the smoke and he sees them, the Zagros, the Bayandr, and the Nagdi. He's sitting right in the envelope for every shoulder-fired missile on the rooftops. Every second he's down here, some guy in sandals is trying to get a lock. He pickles the bombs. 6 white flashes. The corvettes are open to the sea. By noon, the Iranian Navy doesn't exist as a surface force. But the real headache is just starting. 24 PACAP fast attack boats, basically cigarette boats with anti-ship missiles, are weaving through the commercial tankers in the strait. They're hiding in the radar shadows of giant container ships. It's a knife fight in a phone booth. An MH-60 Romeo helicopter finds a cluster of 7 boats. He's using Hellfires because they're the only thing precise enough to hit a boat without blowing up the LNG tanker sitting next to it. He picks them off one by one. A P-8 Poseidon is overhead, acting as the quarterback, calling out targets for Super Hornets coming in for gun runs. Half a second of 20mm fire turns a fast boat into toothpicks. By the time the sun starts to set, the water is littered with burning fiberglass and steel. The IRGC spent 40 years preparing for this fight. It took the US Navy less than 4 hours to end it. The harbor is quiet now, except for the sound of secondary cook-offs. Iran wanted a war in the strait. They got one. But I don't think they realized that when you pick a fight with a carrier strike group, the bill comes due immediately. You think they'll try it again tomorrow? Or is the bottom of the Gulf getting too crowded? Let me know what you think in the comments.